We ready? All right, hey, everybody, my name's Jason Rader. I work at Aegis. I'm a software developer. I have a lot of GIS background, probably 10, 15 years of GIS software development. My partner here is Jason Nofki. He has a lot of, he does a lot of our VR, AR. So when we got together to think about what we could do for first responders, we thought that it would be an innovative and useful application if we could integrate GIS data into a virtual reality, a mobile VR, and or in the future, a mobile AR application. So this is what we're looking at. What you're looking at here is kind of it's a VR planning. So VR is essentially virtual reality. That is like you're in the system. It's all virtual. Whereas AR is kind of an augmented reality where you're actually out in the world and data is kind of overlaid on top of your vision. So for this, we started with the VR. So what you're seeing is all GIS data sets that we ingested from open source data, correct? So it's all geolocated, it's all ingested into our application, and as we go through, you can see as he's looking at a feature that allows him to get all the different attributes. We picked a couple attributes that for this demonstration, but you can set those up to be whatever they want. So whatever that base data is, we bring that in, allow for a virtual reality planning application. We also have the ability to turn that data off and on. So sometimes you get some data overload. So especially in VR and AR, we're able to do that. So as you can see, the end idea is the ability to not only take this as a VR, but also as an AR. So as a first responder, when you're on the scene, if you have, say a Google Glass kind of application, which AR is coming. I mean, it is the future. You can then take this data that's streamed, that can be streamed over the web to you if you have a data connection, right? It's just simple GIS data. And you can then take that data and view everything you need to know. If you're a firefighter fighting a fire, you may need to know where to turn off the gas or exactly what that gas main underneath is. So you can basically just look down, see that data overlaid in your vision. And I think the idea is that it'll be a very a useful application. Like I said, we brought in a lot of different data, and the data that you can bring in is just pretty much endless. Any data that's feature attributed, you can bring it in, you can pick what it is. And the idea is when a first responder gets out in the field, the data then is drawn in based on where they are. So then that way they always have the most current. And this can be live data too. So if you have a changing situation, your first responder can get that feed in. Since again, we currently use we converted a lot of stuff into GeoJSON data. We can use all kinds of different data sources. So again, I think as you can see here, I mean, with the data we picked, we're looking at fire hydrants, we got roads, we've got some water mains, all the schools in the area. Again, it's all data that we pulled off of the city of Huntsville or just open data sources for us.
Any questions from the Any questions?
I guess I'll go first. Does this assume that its data is going to be cached on your local platform, or is it going to have access to the web?
So I mean, the data could be cached if you know you have a lot of responses. It could be cached, probably give you a little bit higher performance. But you can also pull it again. GeoJSON data, it's text data. You can pull it from web. So if you have, again, we're running this device just on an Android phone, right? This is with Samsung Gear VR. So again, they're going to have data access. You can then go get that from the web, pull it in. Again, that's where we can get our real-time based data. That's changing.
And everything based on the data is going to be on some central server, or where's it going to be?
Again, that's open. I mean, basically you can tell it where to go pull that data. I mean, if you have your own data server, web mapping service, that stuff can be pulled. It's just wide open wherever you want that data to come from. If you all have all your own proprietary data and you want to, you can cache it first, put it on the devices as you want for the needed scenarios and needed situations. Yeah, so I mean, right now, being that this is a prototype, we are working to where we can tile this data. I mean, that would be one of the next steps, is to be able to tile. As you see right there, we were kind of limited to a small area. That's not your limit. When you work with tiling and again, tiling all the data, so based off of where you're at, you can set a reasonable bounds around you of the data you need, and all that can just be cached in and out. Yeah, that would be, that would be the idea. So that's, I mean, the base data here, the image data here, it's pulling directly from Google Map, right? We just said, we want this Google Map image around this area. You can pull that from anywhere. We just happen to pick Google Map data, so. Yeah, go ahead.
So is this also, I'm thinking of this, you know, when you're in a totally immersive environment like that, much different than a heads-up display. Do you see this as applicable to bringing data in a heads-up environment?
Yeah, I mean, that would be the obvious next step is for us then not to move this straight VR to go into augmented reality. So again, your Google Glass, that kind of stuff, where basically as a first responder, in a scenario, I'm looking around, if I have the right data, I can look, again, like right below me, I have gas mains I need to take care of, or there's the gas shutoff, or here's the water. Again, those fire hydrants you saw in there were all color-coded based off the bonnet color, you know, because that means something to firefighters, right? So that's why I didn't get that in the thing. That's why some of them were green, some are black because we didn't have the data. There were some orange ones in there based off of size of the main, all important data for a firefighter to know.
So follow on then, SCBA's that are breathing apparatus, that sort of thing, you could bring information in, location or.
Sure, that would, I mean,
information.
yeah, I mean, that would be obviously something you could do then too, if you had that sort of data feed, you know, any data feed like that you have, and that's somewhat portable and reasonable, we can bring that in to a mobile application. It's you know, with that and even the Google Glass stuff, it's all be mobile application, and your breathing apparatus, I'm sure would have some sort of data connection too, so.
So I'm envisioning it with what we saw previously on the pre-fire side of having lots of elements inside the structure. Is this orientation or geographic orientation dependent on GPS or not?
Well, so, I mean,
there's,
Go ahead.
there depends on the device you want to use, right? You could use GPS to get your base coordinates, and then you could use something like currently like Project Tango made by Google. And there's other devices coming out like that, so you can get it does positional tracking, but without GPS. So you use GPS to get your base data, and then go from there.
yeah, and all that integrates into the platform.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.